Let me tell you something straight up, and I want you to hear me clearly because this might be one of the most important things you listen to this week. If you're a man over 60 and you've noticed that things just aren't working the way they used to down there, I need you to stop everything and pay attention for the next few minutes. I'm Dr. Chloe Bennett. For over 25 years, I've been sitting across from men just like you in my clinic right here in Boston. Men who walk in looking at the floor, clearing their throats, hesitating before they finally say the words out loud. Bankers, retired firefighters, college professors, truck drivers, grandfathers, holding photos of their grandkids in their wallets. Good men, strong men. And every single one of them came to me thinking they were alone in this. Thinking something was deeply wrong with them. Thinking their best days were behind them. And you know what I told every single one of them? The same thing I'm about to tell you right now. You are not broken. You are not finished. And most of what you've been told about your body after 60 is flat out wrong. Here's what really stops me in my tracks, though. And I want you to really think about this. Over 52% of men over 60 in this country are quietly dealing with changes in their sexual performance. 52%. That's more than half of every guy you see at the diner on Saturday morning. More than half of the men in your church. More than half of the guys you served with, worked with, grew up with. And 9 out of 10 of them are making one specific mistake every single night before bed that's making everything worse. Today, I'm going to walk you through 3 things. First, why this is happening to your body and what's really going on biologically, which almost no one explains to you properly. Second, I'm going to give you a simple 4-second breathing technique you can do tonight in your own bed. That costs nothing. And third, I'm going to share what I call the teaspoon secret, the one trick I've been recommending to my patients for over 2 decades. And honestly, it's the thing men come back to my office and thank me for years later. So stay with me, don't click away, because if you got even 10 minutes of your life to invest in yourself today, this is it. Let me start with something most doctors never bother to tell you. When you sleep at night, your body is supposed to give you somewhere between 3 and 5 erections. Not because you're dreaming about anything in particular, not because of what you watched on TV before bed, but because your body is actively maintaining itself. It's like running the engine of a car that's been sitting in the garage. If you don't start it up now and then, the battery dies, the oil settles, the gaskets dry out. Your body knows this. It's been doing this for you since you were a teenager. These nighttime erections are how your body pumps fresh, oxygen-rich blood into the erectile tissue. They keep the tissue elastic, sensitive, and alive. They preserve your sexual function the way physical therapy preserves a recovering knee. It's maintenance. It's natural. It's supposed to happen. But here's the kicker. When these nighttime erections stop happening, or when they become weaker and less frequent, that tissue starts to change. It loses elasticity. The blood vessels stiffen. The nerve endings become less responsive. And within a year or 2, what started as a small issue becomes a much bigger one. So the question is, why does this stop happening for so many men after 60? And more importantly, what can you do about it tonight in your own home without prescriptions, without expensive clinics, without anything except the willingness to make a few small changes? Let me tell you about a patient of mine. I'll call him Bill because I'm not going to share his real name. Bill was 67 when he first came to see me. Retired electrician from just outside Worcester, Massachusetts. Married 42 years to a wonderful woman named Sharon. Bill sat in my office and I could tell he'd been rehearsing what he wanted to say in the parking lot for a good 20 minutes. He finally looked up at me and said, "Doc, I think I'm done. I think this is just how it is now." I asked Bill about his routine. What did he do in the evenings? What did he eat before bed? How much did he drink? And what I found out in about 10 minutes of honest conversation was that Bill was making every single one of the 3 biggest mistakes I see in my practice. Within 6 weeks of changing those 3 things, Bill came back into my office with a completely different look on his face. Sharon came with him the second time, and she gave me a hug I will never forget. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the 3 mistakes, and then the teaspoon secret. Mistake number 1, the evening drink. Now look, I'm not here to lecture anyone. I enjoy a glass of red wine with dinner myself sometimes. And I know in this country, especially for men of your generation, having a beer while you watch the game or a whiskey after dinner is just part of the routine. It's tradition. It's how you unwind after a long day. I get it. But here's what most people don't know. Even 1 or 2 drinks in the 2 hours before bed has a dramatic effect on your nighttime circulation. Alcohol constricts your blood vessels during the deep sleep cycles when those restorative erections are supposed to happen. It also suppresses testosterone production overnight. And most critically, it disrupts the REM sleep phase where your body does its most important hormonal repair work. I'm not saying you have to quit drinking. I'm saying move it earlier in the day. Have your beer at 5 o'clock instead of 9 o'clock. Finish your wine with dinner, not after dinner. Give your body a solid 3 to 4 hours to process that alcohol before you lie down. This one change alone for many of my patients has brought back morning erections within 2 to 3 weeks. Mistake number 2, eating too late and eating too heavy. Americans love a big dinner. Meat and potatoes, a nice pasta, maybe a steak on Friday nights. And nothing wrong with any of that. But when you eat a heavy meal within 2 hours of bed, your body has to spend the first several hours of sleep digesting food instead of repairing tissue. Blood gets diverted to your gut, your insulin spikes, your growth hormone, which is critical for male sexual function, barely gets released at all. The fix is simple. Try to finish your last real meal at least 3 hours before you go to bed. If you get hungry later, a small handful of walnuts or a little bit of Greek yogurt is fine. What you want to avoid is pizza at 10 o'clock at night. You want to avoid a big bowl of ice cream. You want to avoid that second helping of lasagna when you know you're heading to bed within the hour. And I know, some of you are thinking, Doc, I've been eating this way for 50 years, and that's exactly the point. For 50 years, your body could handle it. After 60, the margin gets thinner. The system is more delicate. Small changes matter a whole lot more than they used to. Mistake number 3, and this is my secret tip, the one I want you to really focus on. Stress, specifically the stress you carry with you into the bedroom. Now, I don't just mean work stress or family stress, although those matter too. I mean the physical tension that lives in your body by the end of the day, the tightness in your shoulders, the shallow breathing, the clenched jaw, the racing thoughts when your head hits the pillow. This kind of sympathetic nervous system activation, what doctors call fight or flight mode, is the #1 killer of nighttime erections in men over 60. Here's why. Erections, whether they happen during the day or at night, require your parasympathetic nervous system to be in charge. That's the rest and digest mode. That's the relaxation mode. If your body is stuck in stress mode at bedtime, the blood vessels in your pelvic region stay constricted all night long. No matter how healthy you eat, no matter how much exercise you get, if you're sleeping in stress mode, those restorative erections aren't happening. So here's what I want you to do tonight. This is the 4-second technique I promised you. When you get into bed, before you touch your phone, before you turn on the TV, before anything else, I want you to lie flat on your back. Put one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly, then do this. Breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold the breath for 4 seconds. Breathe out through your mouth slowly for 4 seconds. Hold again for 4 seconds, then repeat. Do this 5 times total. Just 5 rounds. That's it. It takes about 1:20 seconds of your life. What this does is it flips your nervous system out of stress mode and into recovery mode. It signals to your body that it's safe, that it's time to restore, that it's time to do all that maintenance work we talked about. I've had patients tell me they started falling asleep faster within 2 days of doing this. Their wives started asking them what was different. Their morning routines came back, all from 5 rounds of breathing. Try it tonight. Please, just try it. It costs you nothing. If it doesn't work, you've lost 90 seconds. If it does work, it might just change the next decade of your life. Now, the teaspoon secret, the thing you've been waiting for. This is something I started recommending to my patients probably 15 years ago, and I'll be honest with you, at first I was skeptical, but I kept hearing the same thing from patient after patient. It works. It really works. And the science behind it eventually caught up with what my patients were already telling me. Before you go to bed, about 30 minutes before, I want you to take 1 teaspoon of raw, unfiltered honey. Not the plastic bear honey from the grocery store, although that's better than nothing. Real local raw honey if you can find it. And this isn't about sugar, this isn't about sweetness. This is about what happens in your body over the next 8 hours. Raw honey provides your liver with just enough glycogen to get through the night without triggering a cortisol spike around 2 or 3 in the morning. Cortisol is the stress hormone. When cortisol spikes in the middle of the night, it shuts down testosterone production, shuts down growth hormone release, and completely prevents those restorative nighttime erections we've been talking about. 1 teaspoon, that's it. Not a tablespoon, not 2 teaspoons. 1, about 30 minutes before you lie down. For the men who also add a tiny pinch of sea salt to that. Honey, and yes, I know that sounds strange. You're supporting your adrenal function as well, which is another piece of the puzzle after 60. But even without the salt, just the honey alone has been a game changer for so many of my patients. Bill, the electrician I mentioned earlier, told me the teaspoon of honey before bed was the thing that really locked everything in for him. He said within about 3 weeks he was sleeping deeper than he had in 10 years, and everything else, all the things he thought were gone for good, started coming back naturally. Now, I want to pause here and say something important because I know some of you are skeptical. I know some of you have seen 100 videos online promising miracles. I know some of you have tried pills and creams and supplements that did absolutely nothing except empty your wallet. I understand. This isn't a miracle. This isn't magic. This is your body doing what it's designed to do when you stop getting in its way. The 3 mistakes I mentioned, the alcohol, the late heavy meals, and the stress, those are the 3 things getting in your body's way every night. Remove them or even just reduce them, and your body will start doing its job again. It wants to heal itself. It's been trying to for years. You just haven't been letting it. And here's something I want every single one of you to hear, because this matters more than any breathing technique or spoonful of honey. What we're really talking about here isn't just sexual function. It's dignity. It's vitality. It's how you see yourself when you look in the mirror in the morning. It's the kind of husband you get to be for your wife in your 70s and 80s. It's the kind of energy you bring to your grandchildren. It's whether you spend the next 20 years feeling alive or whether you spend them slowly shrinking from the world because you've decided you're past your prime. You are not past your prime. I have patients in their 80s. I'm talking 82, 84, 87 years old who are sexually active, physically vital, mentally sharp, and living full lives. They didn't do anything exotic. They didn't take miracle drugs. They did simple, consistent things every single day, and their bodies rewarded them for it. And look, I understand some of you watching this are thinking, easy for you to say, Doc. You don't know what it's like. You don't know what my wife and I have been through. You don't know how long it's been. You don't know how embarrassed I've been to even bring this up. I hear you. I really do. And I promise you, you are not alone in any of this. Every feeling you've had about this, every moment of frustration, every quiet fear, thousands of other good American men have felt the exact same thing. And the ones who made changes, who tried these small steps, who gave themselves a fair chance, they came out the other side grateful they didn't give up. So here's what I want you to do tonight. Just tonight. You don't have to commit to anything forever. You don't have to change your whole life. Just tonight. 1. Have your last drink with dinner, not after dinner. 2. Finish eating at least 3 hours before bed. 3. Before you fall asleep, do 5 rounds of the 4-second breathing. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. 5 times. 4. 30 minutes before bed, take 1 teaspoon of raw honey. That's it. 4 small things. Nothing weird, nothing expensive, nothing that requires a prescription or a specialist. Just 4 small changes you can start tonight. Do it for 2 weeks. Just 14 nights. And pay attention to how you feel in the morning. Pay attention to what your body starts doing on its own. Pay attention to your energy during the day, your mood, your confidence. I think you're going to be surprised. And if you only take away one thing from this entire video, let it be this. Your body hasn't quit on you. It's been waiting for you to come back to it. It's been waiting for you to give it what it needs to do its job. And when you do, even in your 60s, your 70s, your 80s, it will meet you halfway. I've seen it happen in my practice over 25 years with hundreds and hundreds of men, and there's no reason on earth it can't happen for you too. If this video was helpful to you today, do me a favor. Write the word yes in the comments below if you're going to try at least one of these 4 things tonight. Just yes. I read every single comment, and I want to know you're with me on this. If you've got a friend, a brother, a neighbor, a buddy from the VFW hall who might need to hear this, share it with him. Men don't talk about this stuff enough, and that silence is what's hurting us. And if you want to see the next video in the series, where I'm going to share the specific foods that quietly rebuild your testosterone after 60, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'll have that one out next week, and it's one I think every single man watching this needs to see. Take care of yourselves. You matter, your health matters, your vitality matters, and it's never, ever too late to get it back. I'll see you in the next one.